You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Wednesday. My name is Brock. Unfortunately, no Dalby in once again. He's still not feeling too well, but we'll sneak in a best of clip or two throughout the show. I don't know if any of you guys are gamers. I'm not the biggest gamer, but I did download the new NCAA football game, or I guess college football 25. Man, so sick. I started my guy's journey, put him on the Ohio State University. He's barely getting any playing time, third string quarterback, but it's kind of a wild game as you kind of do your guy's career. They have you doing all the stuff that you do in college, tests, social media, even have a girlfriend. Like, it's weird. There was one thing I was doing last night where it was like, decide to either go to a party or hang out with my girlfriend, and I didn't hang out with her, so she blocked me. The game's honestly too realistic, and I was laughing because I felt like it was ironic. I was trying to win this girl back in this football game. Meanwhile, I've been hiding in the basement for 5 hours from my own girlfriend. I feel like I'm cheating or making some plans with this fictional girl on my Xbox. I honestly wish there was an actual option to party, because you're just clicking buttons, you're just making decisions like that. But I wish they had a full, you could go full Johnny Manziel mode, chugging beers, all this kind of stuff. What they should do is, in the next edition, they should make a college football game. Do you ever play Blitz the League? It's that game where, if you get injured, you can give the guy steroids and stuff like that. You could do all that. You could take steroids and maybe other fun extracurriculars. You could call it NFL Madden Bust Edition, which, as I say that, sounds grosser than I meant it to be. Let's just get into the podcast, guys.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Random questions. What fictional restaurant do you wish was real? I don't know if you've had a chance to watch the new season of The Bear. I finally finished season 3. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's that cooking show that leaves you riddled with anxiety when you go to bed. Yes, chef. No, chef. Chef. The show literally haunts my dreams. And no spoilers if you haven't seen season 3 or anything, but I'm going to be brutally honest with you.
This is not a banger, and I know bangers.
Yeah, it doesn't live up to the hype that season 1 and 2 had. It didn't even make me hungry at all. And shows about food, that's what they're supposed to do. It's all too fancy for my liking. The first 2 seasons, I wanted to eat at, what was it called, The Beef? And I don't know, I respect a nice meal. I worked in kitchens for a bit, but it just, I don't know, it's too stressful. They kind of drag the show out a bit. Plus the restaurant itself just looks like one of those restaurants that you'd spend $300 at and, want to hit the drive-thru on the way home. It's the kind of place you take a girl out for on a date, and then, before the bill comes, you're trying to do that quick math in your head. The only time I honestly want to be at a restaurant like that is if it's the Taco Bell in the future at Demolition Man. You know the one I'm talking about? I don't know why I'm talking about this place like it's real or something, but you know what? If there's any fictional restaurant from movie or TVs that I could eat at, it'd be that, what's the one from Breaking Bad called? The chicken place. Is it Los Hermanos chicken? Is that what it is? I mean, I know they were cooking up meth and stuff there, but dude, the chicken looked amazing. And I think we can all agree, 9 times out of 10, the sketchiest looking places is probably where you're going to get the best meal. If you get the vibe that someone's going to break into your car, I wouldn't worry about it, because your stomach is at least going to be full. Your wallet may get robbed, but you're going to leave fulfilled.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
It's time for Brock and Dalby's Top 5.
Because we were talking about what is the greatest fictional restaurant of all time from TV and movies. And I figured I might as well just do a top 5 based on the stuff you texted it in. Coming in at number 5, I'm sticking with my choice, Los Hermanos chicken from Breaking Bad. That stuff looks absolutely amazing. But coming in at number 4, got to go from Wayne's World, Stan Makita Donuts. Oh my gosh. I mean, just on the sole basis of meeting the manager, Glenn.
I'd never done a crazy thing in my life before that night. Why is it? If a man kills another man in battle, it's called heroic. Yet if he kills a man in the heat of passion, it's called murder.
Hello! What do you think you're doing?
Coming in at number 3, rather. I'm going to go with Pizza Planet from Toy Story, just because as a kid, every time I watched that movie, I wanted to go there. It basically seems just like a Chuck E. Cheese, right? That's all it is. I mean, maybe might not enjoy it as much now, but it's always been there in the back of my mind as a kid. Coming in at number 2, from Coming to America, got to go with McDowell's.
They got the golden arches. Mine is the golden arcs.
I want to try a Big Mick. I want to try a Big Mick. I know it's the exact same thing, but I want to hear what all the hype is about. Plus, I'd love to see John Candy behind the register as well, right? Coming in at number 1, in my opinion, of the greatest fictional restaurants that we wish were real, you got to go to Pulp Fiction, Jack Rabbit Slims. I want to try one of those milkshakes. I mean, I know they were doing drugs and stuff, but they made it look so good.
God damn, it's a pretty fucking good milkshake.
Told you.
I don't know if it was worth $5, but it was pretty fucking good.
Although something tells me with inflation that milkshake's probably like $20 now, dude. Nonetheless, man, I just want to sit there, have a milkshake, watch people dance, sit in one of those little booths. It'd be awesome. I mean, besides the heroin, it seemed like a really good time.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
A fine top 5 list put together by Brock and all of you who texted in during the show this morning. My name is Dalby. I am the other half of the show and the podcast. I'm hoping to be back tomorrow, but I was listening to this as I was putting the podcast together, and I thought to myself, one of the greatest fictional restaurants of all time is the one that Brock and I came up with for a brand new concept for a rock and roll wing restaurant back in 2022.
So I saw a thing on the internet yesterday that pointed out a fact that I'd never really contemplated before. Why is it that every wing restaurant has at least vaguely a sports theme to it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, either like, a pub or sports grill kind of mentality.
Yeah, like it's always a great place to go watch the game. There's always some sort of sports reference. There's always a game up on the TV, whatever. People who don't like sports still like chicken wings. Mm-hmm. It's a fairly universal food product.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, what if we started our own rock and roll themed wing restaurant?
As long as it's not the Hard Rock Cafe, because that place sucks.
No, we're not. Obviously, we're better than that. Yeah. I've already come up with the name.
What is it?
Live and Let Fry. Because, of course, wings, right? The perfect band to start with.
Sorry, this deserves a slow clap. Beautiful work, my friend. I like that.
And then, obviously, like you could have, instead of all the sports stuff on the walls, you can have some rock memorabilia. I know it's sounding more and more like the Hard Rock Cafe.
Exactly like the Hard Rock Cafe.
I promise it's not. But really where we can shine, because we've come up with, we're pun people.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes you hate it. We're great pun people. A rock and roll themed wing menu.
Ooh.
With the flavors.
Oh, yes.
Like a ZZ hot wing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that would be great.
BURN in the USA.
Yeah. Over the Dill and Far Away.
Don't Fear the Carolina Reaper.
Hotly Crew.
Yes. Bat Out of Hell.
She Sells Sriracha.
Hello Time Bomb.
And then for people like me who can't handle spice, we get a little Kim Mitchell. I Am a Mild Party.
Oh, that's great. See, I was going to say Another One Bites the Dust. It's like a salt and pepper wing.
Oh, I like that. Mm-hmm. I Was Made for Barbecue.
Ooh. What about Wicked Garden Cauliflower Bites?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Cauliflower bites are hot right now.
That's right. You got to have options for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
CCR. It's a Cajun Chili Ranch.
Ooh. What about Killing Yourself to Live with a side of rat salad? A little Black Sabbath specific meal right there.
And you know, honestly, like you don't even have to have puns. There are some songs that just were a Back in Black Cajun wing, a Paralyzer, like Extreme Hot.
Sleep Now in the Fire.
Hurts So Good, John Mellencamp.
Hell's Bells.
I think that we have to do this. I think that we are leaving money on the table by not opening Live and Let Fry.
We just need to clarify that once again, we are not the Hard Rock Cafe.
That's the slogan.
Yeah.
Not the Hard Rock Cafe.
We're going to open up locations in every tourist town, and I think instead of the name that you suggested, what was it?
Live and Let Fry.
We just call it Not the Hard Rock Cafe.
I'm on board. I think that'll bring people in.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Having watermelon can actually help impact your sex drive. Yeah. according to a new study, which is a funny idea, watching people eat watermelon and seeing how, like, horny they get. Allegedly, according to this study, they say watermelon seeds contain a large amount of zinc, which apparently plays a role in creating testosterone. That means if you got a low sex drive, watermelon can actually help, right? Additionally, they say there's fertility benefits, even helps you with reactivating your mass if you instead of taking a Viagra, I guess, just eat some watermelon, which that's even another funny image. I can't picture someone like trying to get low down and dirty and they're like, oh, sorry, babe, let me just cut open this watermelon and before getting jiggy with it. It's got to be the least sexiest food to eat. Like you can't look hot while eating a watermelon. There's no way to do it. You get the seeds, you choking on a seed or something, just mucking that thing down. I mean, I would say, that's why strawberries are always used in movies, right? Chocolate strawberries, you can feed them to each other. Grapes is another one. Grapes is a sexy food, right? You can dangle them over someone, right? I mean, even, let's just call a spade here. Anything that's kind of phallically shaped, your bananas, your hot dogs, that can do the trip. Hell, even an apple. I feel like you could seductively eat an apple. You could honestly make a fruit roll-up look sexier than you could a watermelon. You just fling that thing out, slowly wind it back, maybe just do the elementary school kind of thing, wrap it around your finger. You know what I mean?
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
What do you say, man? Ribs, eh?
Yeah, suck the meat off the bone, dude.
It could be that fine line of like the sexiest and the grossest depending on who's doing it.
Absolutely. Like you don't want to watch your mother eating ribs.
But then again, it's also one of those things where, like, you could just be thoroughly impressed to see someone take back a rack of ribs, and even for some reason, that's kind of sexy.
Well, then it's like that old commercial. I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly, man. I don't know what it is. Like, sometimes seeing someone eat can honestly be attractive. I don't know if that's just a me thing. Sometimes people see someone and they're like, oh man, like look at this hard-working guy, right? Like they see some dude using tools or whatever, right? And I know some gals will find that attractive. You see someone working out, you see their muscles, all that kind of stuff. But like, honestly, for me, sometimes it's seeing a gal just eat. And I'm not saying I'm one of those like weirdos that watches those streams. I know that sounds weird. There's like those people that eat and it's like this fetish kind of thing. No, I'm just saying, like, you start dating someone and you go on a date and you sit out at dinner and they order the steak or they order a big burger. I remember when I first started dating Courtney, we went to get some McDonald's one day and she ordered a Big Mac and I was like, oh, you just stole my heart right there. I like seeing someone actually enjoy their food. It's kind of the same thing of like seeing someone chug a beer sometimes. Seeing someone that can like hold their booze is weirdly impressive. Or even as a guy, seeing a girl that's like really into sports and knows her sports or music, that's hot too. And I don't mean to speak for my girlfriend here, but I know that she finds it attractive when I clean the house. Like, I don't know if she was really into Mr. Clean growing up, but let's just say whenever I do a little spring cleaning, I don't complain.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
Hi, I think that Canada should start doing 4-day work weeks like Sweden. I'm pretty sure they work like 10 hours, but I would still really appreciate, that extra day off, like a permanent 3-day weekend.
Yeah, I can't remember when they started that. Maybe it's been a few years now. But I've read reports that, yeah, in Sweden, they say that, like, people's productivity has gone up, especially at work, because they're not being overworked. And then they also say that just in the country overall, there's a higher satisfaction rating right now, which, I mean, I think we all know, like, work takes such a huge toll on you. But the thing is if you have a 4-day work week, what's kind of the plan? The real question is, what day do you take off? I mean, is the move taking off Fridays? Makes Thirsty Thursdays a little more worthwhile. Every day is kind of a long weekend. Then like that I don't know. It kind of ruins the whole, the joy of what a Friday is. And then I feel like a 3-day weekend, and you can't procrastinate on those chores. You know what happens on a long weekend. You say you're going to do a bunch of stuff, and then you don't do. That could get old quick. I think the move is taking Wednesday off. 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 2 days off. Plus, think about it like this. If you take Wednesdays off, then you don't worry into missing out on all the public holidays that fall down on your Fridays and your Mondays as well. I mean, they're giving out these freebies. Gotta make sure you get them, right? Just even being able to separate yourself from work and your coworkers in the middle of the week, I think it would make a huge difference. And I know there's probably a lot of people that are like, oh, I hate Mondays. You got that Garfield kind of vibe. Everybody hates Mondays. But if you take Monday out of the equation, then Tuesday becomes Monday. And then we're going to start hating Tuesdays. We need Mondays to hate. In my opinion, Monday is essentially the tax of life. You hate it, but you got to do it, man.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Remember a couple of years ago when Cocaine Bear came out? The movie that was actually somewhat based off of a true story about a bear finding a big old bag of booger sugar and going nuts at a national park in the States. Well, it turns out there are now actually cocaine sharks. Yes, in Brazil, they have discovered that there are tons of sharks right now testing positive for cocaine. This is the first time that the drug has been detected in these free-ranging sharks. They say that they've tested around 13 Brazilian sharp-nosed sharks in the water off of the coast of Rio de Janeiro and found it present in both their liver and muscle tissue of all 13 specimens. And I'm going to say it right now. Next year, Shark Week is going to be absolutely wild. It sounds like the new plot of a Sharknado movie. And that's terrifying. It sounds like a movie. It doesn't sound real. Cocaine sharks? That would probably be one of the most terrifying animals to have on drugs. So I ask you the question here, in honor of the cocaine sharks and Cocaine Bear, what would be the worst animal to have on cocaine? 762-555. I'm already just imagining like cocaine shark do cocaine shark do. Like, imagine if geese got all hopped up on that stuff. How terrifying geese are already. They've already got kind of that attitude. They're a little too much confident, right? They're honking at everyone. They're looking for fights. I mean, geese already strike me as like they're already on the snoots. Geese, seagulls, any sort of bird. Hell, imagine how much more annoying woodpeckers would be. Just going around. Maybe that's why they're always up so early in the morning. That's why they're outside your window just caw, caw, caw. They're just trying to tell you about the great business idea they have, and they want to know if you're in on it.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I feel like we've been talking about African lion safari a lot lately. Imagine driving through that place with your car, or even just going on a safari in real Africa. Be terrifying. A few people texting in saying cocaine bull would make the running of the bulls 10 times crazier and probably faster as well. A lot of people are saying wasps, bees, mosquitoes, black flies. I mean, things that are already a pain in the ass. Get them even a little more scooted up. I do love the text that he got in here at 762-555 from Kevin. He says, imagine cocaine beavers. Maybe not scary to humans directly, but imagine the landscape rearranging they could do in a month. Oh my gosh, there'd be beaver dams everywhere. The same thing if like ants got on it. The amount of ant hills that would be all over the place. They'd be all over your kitchen countertop just scavenging already. But then someone texted in that Cocaine Sharks is actually already a movie. Did you know about this? I knew about Cocaine Bear. Yes, apparently there is a whole cocaine animal universe, I guess you could say. There's Cocaine Bear, there's Cocaine Shark. At the end of last year, apparently there was a Cocaine Cougar movie where people are like hiking. You guessed it, kind of the same recipe as Cocaine Bear. There's Meth Gator, and also this one, it doesn't sound real, but it is. Cocaine Crabs from Outer Space. Yeah, I just watched the trailer. If you want to see it, text crabs to 762-555. It looks like a horrible movie. It looks like something that you'd see on like Tubi or Roku or something. I'll give you the description of it. This is the real description of Cocaine Crabs from Outer Space. It says, after 2 crabs from space land on Earth, a group of frat boys force feed them the drug, which triggers an instinct in the crabs to kill, leading to a series of mysterious deaths. A detective suspects the crabs, but his theory is dismissed by a captain. Determined to prove his theory, he teams up with a pet store employee to stop the crabs' cocaine-fueled rampage. It's not worth the watch, but I don't know. Maybe if you're a little bored on the weekend and you spark a lefty, it might be something you might want to check out. I hope this whole universe keeps going, almost like the Avengers or something. They can all come together at one point. I mean, I'm even just down in general for like this animal addiction universe. I can't wait for Opium Panda to come out, which, thinking about it now, that might just be Kung Fu Panda, right?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Here is your daily reminder to clear your search history, as it's been a wild week since the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. We're learning more and more about this Thomas Crooks guy. The FBI is claiming that they finally got into his phone, which it's crazy that it took them about a week and a bit to figure that one out. And they released what his last Google search was, which, it was adult content, to say the least. They claimed that the last website he visited before taking the shots was X-rated. They said that the last text messages he got were from his parents wondering where he was. And I found a little humor in it because I was like, I'm very curious, like, what was he watching? When did he watch it? How far in between the shooting and his last search, I guess you could call it, did he actually watch the videos? And I mean, I know this guy's a piece of garbage, but it's something that everybody should think about. Is that when you pass away, people are going to go through your computer, they're going to go through your phone, right? That's the scariest thing, is everyone will get a view into your life once you pass away. And we always forget to clear our search history. I mean, hell, do you want to know the last thing that I Googled? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the last thing I Googled, and it was something we were talking about like 45 minutes ago. Cocaine Crabs from Outer Space. It's a movie. My mom would be so confused as to why I was looking that up. You know what I mean? I feel like clearing, you know what, actually maybe even clearing your browser history is wrong, because once you pass away, maybe you want to leave a little something for your family to see, right? Like, there might be a little bit of solace in seeing something stupid like that. I think what you should do is try and, before you go to bed every night, or at least once a day, try and just Google something wholesome on your phone. That way, you never know. Today could be your last day on Earth. If someone finds your phone after you pass away, and they're like, oh, he was just looking at puppies or Bible quotes, or, I mean, hell, you could even just troll from behind the grave. Maybe Google once a day, why are you looking at my phone? Maybe Rickroll them. Maybe go to meatspin.com. I don't know. Go out with a laugh. What's that old saying? Keep them laughing.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got for us today.
Good morning. Today's word is, flibbertickabit. Yep. Yeah, that's right. Flibbertickabit. FLIBBERTIGIBBET. Flibbertickabit. And it is referring to a silly and talkative person. Well, I don't have much to say about that. Anyways, that's about it. Have a great one. Cheers.
I googled this. Apparently, it is a real word.
Flibberty gibbet.
Hold up. How did he say it?
Yeah. Flibbertigibbet.
And how is it actually pronounced?
Flibberty gibbet.
Flibberty gibbet. All right. A frivolous, slightly or excessively talkative person would be?
Flibberty gibbet.
Flibberty gibbet. Flibberty gibbet, that sounds like something you hear a minion say, or sounds like something Dr. Seuss would call a car in one of his books. Flibberty gibbet? I'm trying to think about how you could use it. I mean, politics right now, 90% of it is just flibberty gibbet. If, I don't know, you're just annoyed with someone who won't stop yapping around, just be like, I ain't got no time for your flibberty gibbet today. It's actually great to use in front of the kids if you don't want to swear. Or like, you got a bunch of guys at work just won't shut up. Like, y'all quit that flibberty gibbet and get back to work. It's a tough word to say. It does feel like a TV show for kids or something. I mean, speaking of shows, my sister's favorite show in high school was Flibberty Gibbet Girl. Anyone else's sister watch Gossip Girl? Flibberty Gibbet, Flibberty Gibbet, Flibberty Gibbet. Use it wherever you can, if you can pronounce it.
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store, with all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.